Well, that was fun. Sorry, I forgot to put the title shot up first. So I had to get that in quickly enough. Thank you very much for joining me on the community live stream. This is Tuesday, the 13th of February, 2018. I am Chuck Tomasi from ServiceNow, and this is the broadcast, the live webcast, where I go through the stuff that's behind me on the community. I don't know what I'm going to see. I don't know what I'm going to read. I don't know what I'm going to do. This is the best part of my job. It is so unpredictable, like many of your jobs. Well, okay. Continuing on, I want to make a couple of quick announcements. First of all, if you do have a question, let me reduce my head size. There we go. Put that in the community over at community.servicenow.com, and I will take a look. I'll do my best. I can't answer every question for every possible scenario, but I do specialize in the platform, especially in custom applications and integrations and general platform questions. I'll see what I can do. Sometimes I get lucky and get a reporting question. Sometimes I don't. Good morning, Mr. TV 2013. Pardon me, slip of the decimal point. That is Todd from Florida, if memory serves correctly. I don't think we've spoken in quite a while. If you're joining us on the live stream, give me a shout out. It's fun. We do this on YouTube. If you go over to youtube.com/user/ServiceNowCommunity, which is likely where you found this, and you subscribe, you will get the notifications when this goes on air. I try to do this weekdays at this same time. Now, you all are going to change your clocks in about a month, so Arizona doesn't change time. I'm staying where I am. It's brutal enough getting up this early. If we spring ahead, it means I got to get up an hour earlier or something. I'm not going to try and do the math, but right now it is 8 a.m. Eastern in the U.S. and about 6:30 p.m. in India. And when you change your clocks, just remember it's going to change times on this as well. Again, stay subscribed, you'll get it. I also do this on Twitch. There are a few Twitch viewers out there. Thank you very much for that. If you go over to Twitch TV/NowCommunity, you will find it there as well. Those are archived for a couple of weeks. YouTube, of course, is archived for a lot longer. I also encourage you to go over to developer.servicenow.com, where you will see me using a free personal developer instance. You can get one of your own. We also have all the APIs documented over there. The site looks like this. We've got ways to learn, free learning paths, so you can learn more about ServiceNow. We've got all of the scripting APIs documented over there. Somebody asked a question this morning, and I said, hey, let me go look up the answer. And the answer wasn't there, so I said, this is an unsupported thing. We're going to be covering that one in just a little bit. I'm getting ahead of myself. There is also, if you look up here under events on the top, there are meetups all over the world. And if you are not part of one of these meetups, I encourage you to look in your area and see if there's a developer meetup there. If not, hey, maybe you could start one. It's not that hard. Reach out if you want. Get a hold of me. Get a hold of the link that it points to there. We can help you get started with a meetup in your area. There are also other events on here. We've got developer days, which are coming to various areas, doing a few in Q1. Q2 is going to be mainly focused on knowledge and CreatorCon, of course. I'll get to that in a second. And we'll have more in Q3 and Q4. Look for developer days information coming shortly. We are going to be putting out a newsletter, a developer newsletter at the end of March. So if you are signed up to the developer portal, you will get that as well. Lots of good information that comes out of that. We also have various webinars coming up. The next Tech Now is on February 22nd. My goodness, that is next week. On record producers, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, and interceptors, which are kind of a cousin, not used, not mentioned as much, not even taught in any sysadmin course that I'm aware of. But I'm going to show you one of my favorite things that I used when I was a customer many moons ago, and also did an implementation with one of our big partners that it really showed me an interesting way to use interceptors. If you may have seen interceptors and not even recognize what they were. So we'll also have a really good quick tip in the show. Craig Stepp is going to show us some keyboard shortcuts in ServiceNow. There are more than I remember. I mean, I know there's a few in Service Portal. I know there's a few in Studio, but he's going to show us some other ones. So developer.servicenow.com. Long story, short answer. I mean, short. You know what I'm referring to. Sorry, that was the my mug of tea, not what it sounded like. Rubbing against the studio desk. I may just do this entire show out of my inbox. There is enough great material here. Let's see, did I cover everything? I got the developer, got YouTube, got Twitch, I got me. I'm Chuck Tomasi, ServiceNow guy with the red bow tie. Oh, also forgot to mention, this guy still needs a name. This little plushy robot with the red bow tie. I'm looking for creative names from the community. You guys have great imaginations, great creativity. Let's see if we can give that guy a bow tie. He's an artifact from Knowledge 17, and Lily Lee just gave him to me a little while ago. Good morning from Fort Lauderdale. Thank you, Aspen Now. Well, we get 2 Florida people. Excellent. Good morning from India. Hi, Pritam. Nice to hear from you as well. Getting some great shout outs on the YouTube channel. I need to close my ad box on Twitch so I can see if anybody's out there. Not this morning, still seeing community, or still seeing questions from yesterday. Can't wait to sign up for Knowledge. Hey, and oh, thank you for the reminder. If you do sign up for Knowledge, don't forget to check the checkbox that says CreatorCon so that you can, you may not, you can always decide not to, but if you don't check the box that says CreatorCon, then you can't attend the CreatorCon sessions. This is where we're going to get into more in-depth stuff for the developers and admins. IoT and integrations and flow designer, action building, service portal widgets, the nuts and bolts of stuff. A lot of Cody stuff that we love. That at least I love it. I don't know. I'm having a blast. Had a great discussion yesterday with our team from India about my part in the IoT lab. There's going to be a number of IoT labs, and we're trying to consolidate on one device, one kit that we can build, and looking at possibly also giving this away. This is cool. This is really cool. I want one of these for myself. If not the device itself, I would love to have the schematic and the bill of materials of what it takes to build this thing and the code base, and I'll build it myself. This is really wicked cool. I'm really looking forward to this stuff. There's some can you tell I'm a little excited? Matthias says, how about Bowtie Rogeri? Oh, I love it. I'll have to get in touch with Bo and see what he thinks of that. It might be license infringement, or you might want to claim it. That actually is the name of a real person, by the way. You may have seen it in the demo data, Bo Rogeri. Most people will say Bo Ruggery, but he is an actual person. We are having fun today. Let's put the title away, get to work. You know what? I'm going to try and see if I can do this. I've got 10 things in my inbox. I've already filtered out the chaff, and now we're down to the wheat, and I think I've got a response for every single one of these. It's funny because I'll be filtering through these before the show starts and go, oh, I've got an answer for that. And I start typing, go, no, save it for the show, save it for the show. So that's where I am right now. I am going to actually, we'll start this snowball effect where I'm answering the same 3 questions over and over. So Gaurav writes, yesterday, about 19 hours ago, which, sorry for the delayed response, and nobody's responded to this yet. He says, I want to modify my existing system for end user, currently CMS portal running, and end user facing lots of difficulties. I try converting CMS portal to service portal. I want, then he responded 2 hours ago because he didn't get a response in 17 whole hours. I apologize for that. This is frankly beyond the scope of the community and requires professional services. So, hi Gaurav, I'm going to try to be as nice as possible about this. That is quite a list of requirements. I invite you to reach out to ServiceNow or one of our wonderful partners to start a professional services engagement. What you ask for is quite sizable. And not, how do you spell sizable? No E? Let's find out. sizable, and likely not going to get a definitive answer to 3 large questions in the community. Robert Federick said he listens to this later on double speed. Probably more interesting to listen to the typing on double speed than it is me on double speed, because I know when I get talking, like I did in the first part of the show, way off. I can't even understand myself. You know, I got to write that bow tie Rogeri down, or I will forget. Bow tie the now. Bow. That is funny. I'm gonna reach out to Bo later this afternoon. That's great. I'm not claiming you won the contest on one vote. We gotta get others in here. Nanny mentioned you. I get a mention. And if you do @mention me, I know I've said this before. If you do @mention me, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to respond or have the answer. I appreciate the reach out, the tap on the shoulder. When the incident problem change created, the notification is triggered. In that notification, the priority is showing P1 and sometimes P101. Interesting. Here's a sample of the email. Here's a sample of the priority. And tell me about the root cause of the priority issue at C. Tomasi. Jerry writes back, says, can you share the notification template to check for syntax? Frederick also writes, sounds like you picked the value of the priority instead of the display value. What if you try $priority? I am almost certain we answered this question about a month or so ago. This sounds like a repeat. I don't know if it was Nanny or not. But I do recall something about trying an email script in the notification, and it was coming out with the wrong value. And I wrote the same thing. Try the $curly brace priority thing. I'm going to like that. I can only echo the last 2 comments. Providing the email notification body and any script, and any, made a new word, and any is combined with to make Andy. And any mail script you use is most helpful. The standard way to include values in your notification is to use the meta string. I'm making up more words. Meta string is now Metra. Meta string $field name. Example. The priority of this message is down the curly brace priority. I am going to take a quick look and see if there's a documentation page that we have to reference that. Email notifications? I don't know if it says the whole curly brace thing in there. Baseline email notification, preview, appointment booking, create an email, preview an email. I'm going to go with create. Let's see what it says. Find $curly brace. Nada. All right. Disappointing. Next thing I like to do is look down the right side. This is where or the left side, excuse me. This is where the new doc site has an advantage over the old wiki. Definitely. Oh, by the way, speaking of change, tomorrow morning, if I can manage to get on the air, this will be the last day for using the old community. I don't know if you've seen a notification or not, but you can consider this a notification. The new Community is going to be rolled out, but it's going to take a couple of days to do the cutover. So we're shutting this one down at noon Pacific, Wednesday, February 14th, and then do the cutover. And I heard that it will be online on Friday using ServiceNow communities. You are going to see some radical changes, and we welcome the feedback. Unfortunately, I will not be doing a show on Friday. I don't think it'll be up by the time I get up anyway. And Monday is President's Day in the U.S. So the next time you see me, I'll do one more on Wednesday. Can't do a show on Wednesday or Thursday because there's no community. Friday I'm out. Monday is a holiday, so Tuesday, the whatever it is, 20th. Yeah, 20th of February. I'll do this show with the new community. We're gonna see some crazy stuff. I'm going to have to re-engineer my process, I think. Anyway, back to the notifications. So you will have a community likely sometime on Friday. I won't get to use it until Tuesday. Bummer. Install component finding question survey wizard. Create the email notification. Define a transition. Create a survey. This is all under surveys. I want notifications. Let's go back. Great. That's just me speaking nonsense. Omit the watermark. Baseline notification. No. Notifications. Email setup. Configuring categories. Creating a notification. Advanced conditions. Edit HTML content in an email notification. Let's see what happens. This sounds a little more, That's not exactly as deep as I wanted to go. Document attachments, line breaks, preview, time zone, specify alternative outbound. I think it's just notification variables. That's it. There's just variables. Field name, that's what I want. I want to include this as a link. Always helpful when we get this. Can't be one of those things you just rely on our training program for. All right, another one from Gaurav. Good morning to the people watching on YouTube. Thank you very much. Give me a shout out. Tell me where you're from. Hope you had a great day in India. And I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday coming up in the US. Or Europe. How was lunch? This really messes with your mind trying to get through all these time zones. Gaurav writes, on selection, how to create child incident, connect to parent. Enable feature to bulk add parent incident to many incidences. It's not a word, by the way. It's incident and incidents. One of my favorites. I think that gets confusing because when you talk about instances, which is your ServiceNow instances, gets a little confusing. Two different words, two different plurals. So right, he wants to go check on the incident list, right click and say add parent. That is going to require some deeper stuff with UI actions, and I have a recommendation for that. Don't have a specific solution. I'm not going to write the script. For that, you would need a list UI action. You can either do it from a right-click action or list menu. I tend to prefer the menu, but it's up to you. And there are some great examples. The reason well, you're still gonna have to prompt for which is the parent, so you're gonna have to have a dialog box, and I don't know that you can do a glide dialog or glide modal on a list. I'm going to put that in. The part I'm not sure how you can execute is the prompt for the parent. If you go check on the list, somewhere you need to indicate, spell that right, indicate which incident is the parent. right? To me, that would be best served as a pop-up. I need my macro that says, keep in mind, this doesn't come out of the box and is a customization, will require testing, maintenance, and cost going forward, upgrades, blah, 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 blah. I think that's going to warrant a blog article shortly. And then I can just reference that. You know what? I'm going to put that in there right now. Tell Todoist, right? Blog article about customization costing money and time. There, now I won't forget it again. Maybe I'll have that today or this weekend or something. To me, that would be the best service of pop-up. I'm not sure how you can do a pop-up on it from a list UI action. Normally, those are done from a form UI action. From a form UI action. Check the existing out-of-box UI actions for examples. You might find something. Maybe I'll find something. Let me look real quick. No sense pointing him in a direction that I'm going to do anyway. Personal developer instance to the rescue. Luca writes, hi from the UK. Hi, Luca. Hope you are having a nice day. Hope the weather's holding up. We're going to be there on vacation in late May. After Knowledge, taking a family trip. Going to London, Paris, and Rome. With my wife and 2 daughters. That'll be fun. Looking forward to it. Because I've been to London a number of times. None of them have. My 2 daughters have been to Paris each once. My wife and I have not, and none of us have been to Rome. That's going to be cool. Okay, where are we going? UI actions. Look at this. 23 minutes after the hour, and I'm still on the inbox. I'm probably not going to get any new stuff here today, but that's okay. And I will try to explain, as whatever's in the inbox is obviously a reply, maybe an ant mention from somewhere else. We're doing ant mentions at the moment, but as it gets to be more legacy stuff, I will describe what's happening, so that you're not jumping into the middle of a conversation. I want to look at, come on, filter, ooh, where list is true, list action is true. Oh, we're only going to get a bunch of those. Yes, I hit run. Okay, list action is true, only 413. And let's see if script contains, I just don't know about this. It's worth a shot. Glide dialogue. Hey, 42 of them. Remove from subscription. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see. This is a list choice. Not the list context menu. Not the list bottom menu. List choice. I'm not even sure what the list choice is, but I can offer this. Okay. Copy URL. I don't know if I still have my text editor up here. I do not. Text. Come on. Slow. Maybe work can buy me a new computer for this. Wait for the editor to come up. Take a drink. Oh, Luca's from Italy. I can give you some good tips. In London, the weather sucks as always. Who asked about the App Store here? There we go. I don't know. I've been to London and the weather's been nice a few times. All right, I made the font as large as possible on this editor. I have no idea what I was doing here. Oh, I know what that is. That's an old bit of code from 17. CreatorCon 17 live show. All right, let's just add a new file in here. Apologize for all this legacy stuff. Paste that in, because I want to give him a URL, which is always handy, but I don't necessarily want to point to my instance. So we change this to... Yikes. You know, the funny part is, this machine isn't even doing the video. Your instance. Copy. Paste. I don't need the App Store. Thank you. Back to here. Back to the message. Change your instance to your, oops, to your instance in the URL below, and you should find some UI actions that use glide dialog. Thing. Okay. Nanny reported back about email instructions. Hello, sysdomain.name, sysoffering, change number, p priority. Interesting. With security related aspects has been created and that came out looking like, oh, this is in the subject. Okay. This is my notification. Okay. Thanks for the message body from your screenshot above. Looks like the issue is in the subject. Is it in both places? Can you share the text that makes up the subject? So we can look at that too. A little bit of an alignment problem. No problemo. I've always wanted to get back to Italy, get to Italy. That's where my grandparents are from, northern Italy. A little over 100 years ago. I just have to learn to say my name right when I go over there. Not Tomasi. Tomasi. I am unable to find sys UI bookmark. Okay, this is a message I posted about a year ago about UI 16 favorites and changes that were made. And no, somebody posted this in here and said I need help. Okay, I thought I was writing a blog article. I thought I did at one point. And this person writes back and says, I'm unable to find sys UI bookmark.list panel. I want to change the URL of favorite any because I'm unable to create a catalog favorite for the client. I want to update the filter for URL. Okay, the way to do that is up here, sys UI bookmark. Slow browser, take a drink. In case you were wondering, my microphone is right here off to the side. Normally for my podcast, it'd be hanging in the picture, but it is not. And I'd be wearing headphones, which feels a little weird to do a broadcast without headphones. I have no feedback. Every once in a while, I have to look over at the video machine, make sure it's still recording. There have been times where I've sat here and recorded and there's no audio going out. Okay, so the sys UI bookmark.list happens up here. It's not a module. You have to type it in yourself. Screenshot. At least screenshots are working today. That's better than last Friday. Sys UI bookmark is not a module by default. You could make it one easily enough. type sys UI bookmark dot list into the application navigator, and when you hit enter, it will take you to the list of bookmark, aka favorites, menu, list. Ta-ding. Hope that's helpful. I've passed the hour, or in India, it's the top of the hour. You know, I said the bottom of the hour to my boss yesterday. He didn't understand that. He said, what's the bottom of the hour? I said, I have to leave this meeting at the bottom of the hour. So an hour-long meeting. Like when the big hand is pointing down. Doesn't anybody think about the hands on a clock anymore? Is the whole world gone digital? Or as they say in the UK, 11:30. I kind of like that. That and aluminium. Where? Next one, filter incident tags via API. This came in yesterday, I believe. Yes. Yevgeny was saying, and I hope I said that right. I apologize. My name pronunciation is sometimes way off. He's looking for a way to do a REST API query on tags. And I had said, yeah, you can do that. The payload, the response payload, however, is not going to show you the tags. And I said, unless that's a big issue, you're still going to get what you ask for. So I put in an example and said, this is what you put in the sysparm query. And I said, what do you mean by these strange values? At least that's how I read it. What do you mean those strange values? So what I need to explain, I went a little quickly. I apologize. I thought this was a kind of a known thing. Incident.list. This is where I just did a right-click copy query. And I thought I had this documented somewhere, either in a blog article or a quick tip on TechNow, but I don't remember. It keeps coming up so often. I might even have a macro for it. Hold on. Where's my list O macros? Here it is. Pardon for the small font. You're not really supposed to care about this stuff. This is just how I save myself some time typing. Query. I have not glide record query. No, that's not it. Okay. So what I did is I built this. See how I've got these tags over here? Android JavaScript, Android development. All I said to him was tags, this is a repeat if you were watching yesterday, is or has Android. So I'll take a picture of that. Don't really care about that. Hop over, get that out of there. I'm getting persnickety in my screenshots. Any pop-up tags. I was making videos and those things just jump up and stay up. Okay. First, I went to the list and built the filter I wanted. Example, incidents tagged with Android look like this. Again. Then once I got my list, I right-clicked here and said copy query. Okay, that's not a screenshot. I'm not sure what happened there. It was clicking and dragging and then not clicking. Then I right-click on the breadcrumbs of the filter to get the query. I should really do that. Copy query. Then I went to the REST API Explorer. pasted them in here so that incident. Oh, I heard good news. We are going to be offering a REST API course. And if I heard right, it's going to be offered on the developer portal. So that means $0 free. If you want to know more about our REST APIs, Mary Ellen is working very, very hard on that to get not only inbound and outbound, but also scripted REST APIs. That's exciting too. Okay, then I put in here, I pasted it in there. Apologize for going so slowly. Then I pasted that into the sysparm query command, a field in the REST API Explorer. That's technically capitalized. To test. And when I tested, send, I got this. Which maybe I'll see a little bit more of it if I go like that, kind of. No horizontal scroll on here. There is. That'll work. Thank you, Apple Magic Mouse. Get that. Then I checked the URL after hitting send, and it shows me what I need to build for the API. Ta-da! Yeah, my instance name is in there. Big deal. Wait for it. When the button turns blue, it's usually uploading something. There we go. Still working out of the inbox. Setting default user preferences from Karen Brown. This one I did write over 2 years ago. This is the blog article. I think I saw the wrong icon. Karen Brown and I have been going back and forth for a few days on this. How do you set the order for somebody? She put in, this is again, this is in the user preferences, sys user preference table. And when you set things like sort on this column, give you a quick example. Bring this back up. Let's go to the incident list again. One of the most common, most favorite, easiest to type, at least for me. And right now I'm sorting by descending number. And if I just flip that, or maybe I switch to sort by caller A to Z, it's making records in the user preference table. And that one, I believe, actually has a module. And it's remembering that. So the next time I log in, next time I see this list, it will be sorted the same way I left it the last time. Not a system property, but it's particular to me and what I do. And if I look at the time updated, sure enough, there's a module. There's incident DB order, and here's DB direction. So there's a pair of them. It says, I'm going to sort this list by ascending caller ID. Well, she said, I tried that, but it wasn't sorting for that user. And yesterday I said, check to make sure. She said, I want a global one to default. That was the whole point of this. See how user is blank here? But on mine, user is filled in with system administrator. If you leave it blank and it says system true, it will be the default for all users. She said, well, I wanted it to default for all users to this particular field in this particular direction. But it's not working for this user. I tested it, it's broke. I said, make sure that user doesn't already have their own entry because they will be overriding the system default. Have you checked to make sure that user already has an entry in the user preferences for that sort order and sort field? That always trumps the system default entry. And she says, yes, I figured it out after I sent the comment. The one person did have an entry, and for anyone else, the sort was correct. Glad it worked out. Thank you for getting back, Karen. That was a big explanation. That's the kind of stuff that would have taken 30 seconds to write this response. But I want to make sure that you guys get the whole story there. That's the point of doing this. Get inside my head. Glad it worked out. All right. Happily going through. We've got 4 more. Still haven't touched on any new content. This is inbox day. Clean the inbox, clean the inbox. Some of these conversations go on for days, months, and years. And sometimes I have to say, I don't know. You're going to have to check with support. All right. This is an interesting one. Started a few days ago with Steven asking, hey, I get a record and it's got a component name, a version, and a reference. And I get another one. And I want to make sure that I can flag these things. If the version changes and the reference is different, I should throw an error. I said, okay, looking forward a little further, what do you do if you have record 1 that says V1 is reference 123, V2 is 456, and V2 is 456, and V3 is also 456? Is it correct because it agrees with V2, or is it incorrect because it agrees with V1 and V2 should have been flagged incorrectly? I said, there's a whole mess of rules that go on here. He said, well, it should be correct. We're going back and forth about these requirements. They get a little detailed. And I said, now here's the tricky part. He said, I would like it to agree with the last entry. I said, well, your last entry is going to be hard to sort by because you've got strings in there. V9 will actually come after V11 because if you sort alphabetically, it's going to put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but it'll go 1, 10, 11, 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And it gets really messy if you're trying to sort that way. You're not going to get an accurate sort. So he said, well, I'm okay with sorting it, and I think I understand what you want to do. Can you help me out? So what I'm going to do is write an example here in the script editor and say, get a list here, get the last 2 records meeting the criteria so I'm going to show him how to take an entire list of records. Let's say you've got 20 versions of these things and the other one's 19 and 20 to compare those 2 versions. Now I'm going to make an assumption, and I should probably put this in there, assumption, the versions were entered chronologically, meaning V1 was created before V2 and V2 before V3. Okay, so first we need to do you got it. I do a vargr, but I don't want to encourage bad behavior. So let's do recgr, new glide record, your table name here. And then recgr is going to add query. He wanted, what was it? He had a couple of field names in there. Record and revision. What was that third field called? Reference. Record, rec name. Oops, let's put this out here. You know, I can make this a little prettier by saying JavaScript. Man, that is a tiny font on a big screen. Okay, rec name is the string of your record field. Recgr, add query, excuse me. You reference, probably just shorten it to ref. Ref number, I guess. Ref num is your reference. No, because that's what he wants to see if it matches. Okay. That's, we only need 2. So we're going to pull this out. Store them? Yeah. Let's do a function. Compare reference numbers. And we need, here, compare last 2. Last 2 reference numbers. Sure, we'll make that a function. This is why I'm not doing it in scripts background. Gets a little tough to edit, and I don't have the exact table structure, so I have to make some assumptions. Okay, rec dot order by sys updated, no, created on underscore, please. Sys created on start by date created rec dot wow, my brain is just not coming up with the glide record methods this morning, and that should be recgr. Welcome to live coding happy hour. Should be ordered by descending, and then set limit 2. Get last 2 records. Want the first 2 or the last 2? I want the first 2. Okay. So I'm sorting it in descending order so the newest come up on top. Yeah. Newest come up on top, then I just get 2 records. Recgr, let's submit that query. While recgr dot next. I'm going to store this. I'm not sure what syntax that was. I'm going to store this in an object, an array of objects. I could store 2 objects. Sure, why not? Bar. An array of objects allows me to look at both version numbers. I can store those 3 key attributes he wants. So, we'll do this. I'm not sure I quite like that, but let's find out. We'll initialize rec object equals empty object rec object dot record name equals recgr dot get value. Notice that I am not doing recgr dot u underscore record, because u underscore record is an object, and I don't want to put an object into another object. I want the value of this. Get value is your friend more times than not. Please use it. Rec object dot record version. Oh, he wanted to know there was something else in there that had to match. No, he's just making sure that the versions were there. Okay. Never mind. Recgr dot get value u version. You know what? Was it a number? Was it a name? I don't know. Pass that in which case we don't really need it from here because we're querying for the same thing. We can pull it from here. String for string. Good enough. Let's shorten this up instead of putting rec all over the place. I'm just making this up as I go. It's an example anyway. Rec object dot What was that third field called? Reference. recgr.getValue, capital V, U, reference. Okay, now I can push that into rec array. Should only be 2 of those. Get both last 2 records and push them. The question, if recgr.getRowCount equals 1. If he only has 1 record in that table, we don't want to send back an invalid false. It's going to get through this loop and go, does number 0 match number 1? And it's going to say, no, it doesn't. Okay. Return true. If there is only 1 record retrieved, assume it's right. Okay. Now that I got my array of a couple of things, if this is where the double check comes in, compare record n to record n-1. So the versions, I really don't care about the versions. I don't know why I saved them. I just kind of did. Rec sub 0 dot ref not equal to rec sub 0. My brain has been playing in another programming language, which makes this really tough for me to think. Is it really this simple? Rec sub 1 dot ref. I know a lot of you guys program in multiple languages at the same time, and it just boggles my mind. I start to get wrapped up in the context. Pass that, then it's good. If it doesn't pass that, then it returns false. Okay, so that's kind of the idea. I'm going to go into the database, get a bunch of records, trim it down to 2. I'm going to get the records that are based on that. Trim it down to 2, then find out if there's only 1 record, assume it's correct. Otherwise, get both records from the database, put them into an object, and compare those 2. So technically, I really didn't need, technically, I don't need to save rec name and version, but it might come in handy for debugging. Never know. Variable space is cheap. Okay. Hi, Steven. Here's a quick function to test if the last 2 records have matching reference numbers. I had to make a few guesses on field names on your table. Modify as necessary. Also, I forgot. What was my also? Anyway. Oh, if you enter your first record, it will return true. So it doesn't send a false negative trying to compare your only record against nothing. Okay. And when you paste it back into the community, it looks like garbage, which is unfortunate. I will take a moment and space this out. Not going to run the formatter over to make it a little scripty field. Hey, there's only 1 day left. And then we get to find out what happens when you do the same thing in the NOWCommunity software. I don't recall typing any scripts in that when we were doing the testing. What happened to my other slash? I must have had it highlighted. Ah, the fun of live community, watching somebody do manual indentation. It doesn't get any better than this. Thank you, patient viewer, for watching. Any other candidate names? I know there were people on the stream that weren't on before. Still looking for names for this little guy. Red bow tie robot. I'm going to keep holding him up until we get an answer. Maybe we'll have to have a voting. I might have to write an app to vote on that. Ah, Nanny came back. It is almost the top of the hour and I still haven't got through my inbox. This is going to be a challenge. System service catalog change number priority. Wow. Okay. Is this something to do with notifications and domain separation? I don't know. I am noticing that there's domain separation there. Okay, clearly this feels like a bug to me. Not sure if it is related to domain. Here, let's be nice. Be nice first. Nanny. I do this all the time when I write emails too. All right, get right into the subject. Thank you for the quick response. I'm not going to write clearly because it might not be clear. I have not seen that behavior before. But I don't deal with domain sep all that much. I recommend reaching out to customer support on this one. Let me know what they tell you. Gaurav, related to his big questions. I said professional services. He said, that was helpful. Thanks. Okay. I know that doesn't answer your question, but it gets you a little closer to solution. I'm down to three things left in the inbox. Let's see if I can get the other, at least 2 more done in the next 2 minutes. Suggested filter reference. Marked correct. Simon came back and said scripting's not an issue. This was in regards to an advanced reference qualifier. He said, when I do the autocomplete in a reference field, I want it to show filtered. When I click the magnifying glass, I want it to show all. And I said, that's not really going to happen because that widget is programmed to behave a specific way. And those two actions are always going to apply the same filter. So what I did recommend is use the filter, but also have like an override checkbox that says don't use the filter, which means he's going to have to get into an advanced reference qualifier to check that checkbox. And he said, just to complete this thread, I talked to the business, and the way with the advanced reference qualifier and override tick box matches their needs. I implemented, and it works very well. I can still architect my way out of a wet paper bag. Okay. Thank you for the follow-up, Simon. Glad it worked. And happy the business people accepted the solution. Okay. That way it's also very explicit. They're not clicking on one thing that's sort of unknown. I like the overt, hey, if you want to skip the filter, check this box. It's a bit like overriding a governor. Fareed writes about, this is a blog article that Christopher Morgan did about a year ago on GitHub integration, and said, in my personal instance, ServiceNow GitHub connection is good. No issues there. At my workplace, we connect to ServiceNow GitHub through VPN and SAML. Now when I'm trying to connect from ServiceNow Studio to link to source control, giving the exact GitHub credential, it gives me an error. The repo cannot be accessed. Check URL, username, password. I have full access to GitHub. It's not connecting. Thank you for the information. Fareed. I don't know if the VPN SAML situation is supported. I don't know if SAML is supported. The only way I know of is cloud to cloud, cloud ServiceNow to cloud Git, or on-prem ServiceNow to on-prem Git. Adding VPN and SAML may be causing some issues. Unsupported issues. Once again, I'm going to refer to customer support and see what happens. They're going to be able to dig in deeper to that. Okay, it is the top of the hour. Thank you very much. We almost made it through. You know what? All right, one more. I missed this one yesterday. Not going to sign off quite yet. Give you a bonus one. Just because I don't feel quite complete unless the inbox is down to 0. It's just a thing. 1 year ago. Hi, Tomasi, can I know how we do other field mandatory in state changes from condition through business rule? So checking mandatory fields through a business rule probably isn't your best idea, but you can check for mandatory fields and not process the business rule if the field is empty, just by adding to the condition field name is not empty. Example. Let's see if I can do a quick example right here. Let's do go to business rules. I don't know what I have handy. I know. Let's go to, I think I have the safety app on here. Let's do validate. Get rid of global. There it is, validate due date. Can't be in the past, but it can be empty. But it should not be empty. So the condition I'm checking. Come on, finish drawing. There we go. So due date changes, due date enter before current minute, and due date is not empty. Let's take a picture of that. And with that, oh! Tim marked Tim's answer correct. What is the correct answer, Tim? What did you find? Ah, service portal. We have a solution that works for our needs. This is a discussion from, what was it, a couple days ago? Was it yesterday? Yesterday. Okay, he wanted to make the variables read only, and he mentioned that this method, gform set variables read only, is not, it's not working in Service Portal. And I didn't find any documentation to say what it was or where it was. So I said, I can't confirm whether it's in the API, whether it works or not, because it's not in the APIs. It's not documented. I recommended reaching out to, he came up with an event-driven thing. Okay. Scope dot on gform initialize, gform instance, and then get the gform, scope dot on initialized. Here's this function with, you know what, I'm going to have to sit and digest that at another time. That brings us to the end of the show. I'm going to get back here to the welcome screen. I have got absolutely no material today. That was kind of fun. It was like finishing conversations for people. Thank you for joining. RD Trollbox tie. Robo tie bot. I like them. I'm going to write those down just so I have them recorded, because once things go into the chat on YouTube, RT Trollbox tie. Is that what it was? Yeah. All one word, too. Robo tie bot. Now we're getting creative. Great group. Thank you for joining me today. And with any luck, I will see you tomorrow for the final live community stream using the existing community software, because the one after that, on Tuesday the 20th, we'll have the new ServiceNow communities. You guys will see it before I do. So keep sharp. It's going to be out there. Don't freak out on Wednesday when you start getting a maintenance system is down for maintenance, that kind of thing. We're doing the migration and it's going to take some time. All the points, all the comments, everything is going to be preserved and migrated to the new community. There will be new functionality out there, and I'm looking forward to seeing what that is and getting your feedback on it. Thank you very much. And until tomorrow, learn something, help somebody, share it, do the good thing. You know how this works. Talk to you later. Bye.